Need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're coming into you on this Thursday. Hope everybody's doing good as we're trying to get the misinformation from the first show straightened out on the second show. And you ain't going to believe this. This is probably the first and probably the last time, but we got Stan Gunner hanging over here. Want to talk to the man because Pat Malone and Harry
Because
Bond.
me and Marjorie Taylor Greene, obviously. Marjorie's texting me in between the breaks there.
Yeah, telling you all this good stuff. But I do have some great news coming out of Florida. Lieutenant Dan, he actually made it through the hurricane last night in his 20-foot sailboat. He's okay. He's okay. And they actually had ladies flooding comments to save Lieutenant Dan after he agrees to stay in his boat. They said if he'd evacuate, they're wanting to stay with him. So, I guess these women are wanting to save Lieutenant Dan, but he made her through there. How are you, Pat?
I'm good, Stephen.
Well, good deal. Good deal. We're glad to see it. Yep. So anyway, we do have the main man hanging in with us. What made you decide to stay on the morning dish, man?
Well, I got invited.
Did you really? How about that?
Drugged or dragged or.
Hey, you owe me an apology, Pat Malone, because you said he would never come on the morning dish.
Well, every once in a while, people make bad decisions.
Yeah, even me.
So I asked Stan to stay, and by the way, I'm a huge Stan Gunner supporter. Stan, I mean, as far as like the pro-life stuff, Stan, I mean, you've been tremendous on that stuff. So don't take this as I'm giving you a hard time. But there was a bill that was House Bill 1322, and I'm looking at legis.ga.gov. Okay, This is a Georgia General Assembly. The sponsors of this bill were Cannon Chass from 172, Corbett John, Rhodes Trey, Williams, J.R. Knoll, Perkle Clay, and John LaHood.
Yeah.
It's, Georgia Hemp Farming Act regulates consumable hemp products. This bill will put most of the CBD stores out of business. This is completely it takes away the flower aspect of it, which is a lot of I know this. They're removing the flower, which is what looks like weed, but it has below the 0.03 THC content. So it has been legal, but for some reason they're removing that in a lot of these shops. I just talked to a guy yesterday that's in the Patriot Plaza in Young Harris who he's closing a shop because of this. He told me that directly because I can't stay open. So my questions are with this bill, and I guess it was Senate bill. What did I say, Pat? Was it 494?
I forget what you
494
said.
494. Okay. But I don't know. I'm just wondering. Yeah, SB 494, and then Brian Kemp signed it, and as of October 1st, THCA is illegal now, and the THC flower is illegal, and they put a bunch of new restrictions on there.
Okay.
So what's the question?
I just was wondering if Stan supported that. I didn't know if the.
Well, I mean, looks like that'd be better for your business if they illegal. Illegal. Make all this stuff illegal again.
But I didn't realize I was going to be called Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was just trying to. Pat says I just didn't know what I was talking about. I was a moron or something. So I was just pulling stuff off a .gov website, asking questions.
Yeah. I believe I did vote for this because I remember it came through the Ag Committee, which I sit on.
Right.
And I remember a lot of the discussion about it, but I don't know what the problems are. What you're describing. That's the first I've heard of that. So. What is
the vote on it, Stan, by the way, was 166-3.
Yeah.
Oh, you found it, Pat.
Oh, how about
I
that?
did.
Oh, good. Okay, what was the bill?
Marjorie?
What was the bill number there?
I got.
Let's see. Wait a minute.
Because I thought you said it didn't exist a minute ago, Pat.
Yeah. Oh, Marjorie.
Well, hey.
Hey.
When they first looked at it at 1322.
Okay, I think that's what. I think that's what it said. Okay. Yeah,
Well,
Marjorie was right. My bad. Okay.
That just goes ahead to say that here again, the morning dish is right. The morning dish is right.
My problem is with this is what is the big deal with it? Alcohol. I mean, this is maybe a broader discussion, but alcohol has ruined so many lives, and we're dealing with a plant that a lot of people do use medicinally. Maybe some people do abuse it, but a lot of people abuse alcohol too. Now people will have to go across state lines to get this if they did. If somebody did have epilepsy or a medical condition. And I think in a world with fentanyl being so prevalent and dangerous, I mean it's going to send people back to the black market again,
which is good for you.
Well, when it came through the committee,
wait a minute. We've got medical marijuana in Georgia is legal.
I agree with that.
So if people have those kind of situations, they can get the medical marijuana card and get what they need, right?
Yes, that's very, very true. And that stuff is that's over 3%, 0.03% THC if they wanted to get that. But under that, it doesn't get you what they call high. And that has been perfectly legal since Trump signed the Farm Bill in 2018. So that's what I don't understand is what was the point of this bill? I didn't understand. That was my question. Why did people support it?
I guess what I look at a lot is the vote count, and when there's overwhelming support like that, I don't much have a question.
See, I guess I just think differently about it.
I don't know, man. I ain't a pothead. I can't keep up with this stuff.
Well, I'm interested in what is the part of it that's causing these people problems that they have to shut down their business.
Because they can't. The products that they used to sell are illegal as of October 1st. I mean, a lot of the THCA and I don't know.
This is a consumable product?
It's a consumable product. It's a smokable, consumable, edible product that these people have been selling since 2018.
Because the bills that I remember coming through talked about the products, not the consumable side, but the other products that are made from hemp. And to me, that was reasonable. And so I mean,
they are. I mean, I know for a 100% fact that these shops. There is a shop in Young Harris. We can call them. It's called Natural Health. They're in the Patriot Plaza. They will be closing their doors. Apparently, is what he told me, because of this. I mean, maybe not closing their doors, but they will be they're thinking about closing their doors because they're going to be. I don't want to say they're closing their doors because I don't want to. That's not my place to say or whatever. But they said they're going to be struggling very hard from that. I do know another shop that has completely revamped everything that they have and taken all of these products off there, which is huge sellers for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of lost because, like I said, I'm not a pothead. I don't know much about the marijuana, but anyway, Stan.
Well, my phone's blowing up.
Look like the more they take off, the better your business will be. Stan, can you hang around a minute? We're talking about the abortion thing. I'd like to touch on that just a little bit if we could. Yep. Yeah. Touch on that just a little bit if we can.
The only way to go.
All righty, we're back with you. I've actually wanted to talk a little bit about some of this abortion stuff going on, but we got a caller on the line. Who we got, Puddin'?
We got Jerry this morning.
Jerry, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
I am blessed and good to hear y'all. Appreciate your program.
Oh, yeah, man. We appreciate you. What's on your mind?
Well, my wife and I were just we were talking about the Western North Carolina and our neighbors over there and the voting. And while you have Representative Gunner there, and Stan is a great friend, has been a true friend to our family, wanted to ask, what is the possibility of maybe equipping some buses and having mobile voting precincts to go into these communities that's been ravished by the storm so that the people can vote that can't get out?
Well, from what I remember, what was it, 2020? Well, the 2020 election, they were doing that in Atlanta, and it created a lot of problems. In other words, people that weren't registered to vote were voting, that kind of thing. So I think we outlawed that in the Senate Bill 202.
Well, I'm glad it was outlawed. I just know that the hurricane was a unique situation up there. It wouldn't be going into a city, inner city. It'd be going into a rural community. But the possibility of voter fraud could still be there. I could see that.
Yeah.
It was just a suggestion, and you had an answer. I appreciate it. Thank you for all you do, Stan.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Anybody else got any? I know what we just did there. Anyway, phone number 706-379-9770. No, Stan, on this abortion thing, which I am totally against abortions, and I understand that is a big issue now. It's actually turned back to the states, which is a good thing. And they call it a woman's right to reproduce, which is not. It's actually the opposite, not reproduce, because, I mean, the reproducing part is fine, but the not reproducing part. But anyway, one of the things that I was wanting to, has anybody in the state talked about adoption reform? Because I actually went through an adoption process. It was a long, aggravating process with a lot of red tape. And mine was actually through the state because the young man that I adopted had no one. But there are people out there that are going to have children and they don't want them, and they can put them up for adoption, which would be a great alternative to abortion. But I know there's a lot of red tape in this, and I understand that some of the folks in Georgia are thinking about maybe doing some reform, maybe looking at the adoption process and putting some common sense in there. Have you heard anything from the state talking about that? And what do you think about that?
We actually took up a bill a couple of years ago to streamline some of the abortion law, and I think it went through.
Right.
But if I'm mistaken, that is an area that I hear about that folks are wanting to change it, to make it easier, to streamline it in a way that folks can get through the process without all the aggravation that you went through.
Well,
So
right, and there's a lot to it. I mean,
there is,
and it's a lot of silly stuff. I mean, it's just a lot of silly stuff they add to it, and red tape, and this, that, and the other, and it's very expensive. It's very expensive to adopt if somebody wants to privately adopt a child.
and it's so complex that attorneys specialize in adoptions.
Yeah.
So they can make a living doing that kind of work.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And the process is beyond. But I don't understand why Trump and everybody else that's up here with the talking about abortions. Why don't they all? The alternative would be adoptions, and there are thousands of people out there that would love to adopt children that can't have children.
Yeah, I mean the child that's that's there is an innocent human being, and doesn't need to be destroyed. This is the way I kind of look at it. So I'm against abortion. So
I'm with you.
no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, if y'all get a committee started up on the adoption removing the red tape, I would sure like to.
Sure.
Wait a minute, I ain't finished my sentence. I would like to nominate my wife to be on that. I don't want to be on that.
Yeah.
Stan, we saw like a judge, I think down in Fulton County, I think, that has been like they've been kicking that back and forth as far as a 6-week ban. I think is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where does that stand right now? As I know it's been
it's back in place, but it was put back in place by the Georgia Supreme Court. I think they're going to look at the issue and decide it at some point. Now I haven't really kept up with that litigation, but I would say that they're going to maybe in their next term or this term take that up and decide it.
Well, now on the abortion ban or whatever we're talking about, there are certain areas that the danger of the baby, danger of the mother, and there are some stipulations in there that still makes abortion legal for certain things, right?
Yes, I think they still have that in there. Yes.
And everybody hollers rape and incest, but that's like 0.01%, right? I mean, it's like a
very small, and in modern day, with the medication and medical expertise that we now have, a lot of babies can be saved, and a lot of mothers can be saved as well. So
I mean, we kind of came into the spotlight in the last debate, didn't we? I mean, wasn't he talking about a Georgia case, and Tim Walsh just completely fabricated 90% of that, and just totally changed the facts on that.
Yes.
Said he had to drive 6 hours. I think he said 6 hours to
another state, and he was.
I don't know, if you drove 6 hours, you'd go through except for Tennessee if you're going long ways. But I mean, 6 hours—that's a long time.
Yeah. It doesn't take long for. If somebody wants to have an abortion, they can find a state that has legalized it and can go to it.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
Like you said, it was the right thing to do. That the courts got out of the regulation of abortion and sent it back to the states. That's the way it should have been.
Well, I'm with you on that 100%.
I support you 100% on this. I really do. We
but
appreciate
I would
what you
love
do
to see the adoption thing come to light. I really would. I'd like to see that brought forth where people can actually say, hey, there you go. We could not kill the kid. We could put the kid up and have a great life. There's no telling, But a lot of folks can't afford it, and it's a lot of red tape, and I think just common sense in that would go a long way.
And a bill like that would come through my committee, so if I see something like that, I'll call and let you know.
Well, I'll write it up. And you can just
okay.
Might want to spell check it. I'm just saying. I don't know all them legal terms. Yeah. I'll try my best. So anyway.
So how do you feel? We listened to a little bit on the show earlier about how Georgia's looking for Republicans and Trump in November. You feeling pretty good about it?
I feel good. Our majority in the House we're at this past year at 103. With reapportionment, the court came back and said we got redraw 2 of them to be Democrat. So we're, if we don't win those seats, we'll reduce down to 101. But we've got some other tight races out there too, and so we're trying to maintain our majority in the House, and the Senate I think is okay, but we're concerned about it.
And you have an opponent in the November race. So
I do. Yes.
this means, Stephen, now we got, if she has to be on here, we got to let her on here too.
Who is that? I ain't got to let nobody else. My show. Do what I want to do. Yeah, I do what I want to do. So let me ask you something. You got all these illegal immigrants coming in, and I know Georgia's getting their fair share, and then they'll do the census, which will change everything. Do you think that's one of the reasons they're bringing in all these illegal immigrants, actually, to where they can change the census on the thing and actually change the dynamics of Georgia to where they can get more Democratic seats?
Not just Georgia, but the nation.
Right.
I think they're trying to change the elections. They want Democrats back in control of everything. I think they think that these people that have come in will vote Democrat if they're ever allowed to do it.
Well, that's the thing, and I didn't even think about it. I got a buddy of mine that works down there at the Capitol, and we were talking about it, and that's his theory on it. They really ain't that concerned about winning this election, which I know they are concerned about winning this election, but if they can get enough people in with the census, which we've got to do something about the census now to make sure that it's actually not illegal people we're counting, and it's American people, and the illegals are kicked out, but that's actually going to change a lot of the voting precincts in the area.
It will.
When you get flooded with a lot of, and I'm like you, a lot of them, they think they're going to vote Democratic, but.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference when they do a census, right?
Right.
And that's been the other problem, is that they're not, sometimes they don't count in certain areas like they should.
Right.
And I think Georgia may have missed out on at least one congressional seat because of the census that was done here in Georgia. So.
Well, that's the world we live in today.
Yeah, it is.
So my final question for you, are you a Donald J. Trump supporter?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now what would you say to somebody who is reluctant or won't vote for Donald Trump for whatever reason in this election?
Well, you talking about like another Republican?
Listen, Pat.
Oh.
Hang on.
talking to
Okay,
Pat
can you
Malone.
hear us okay? He's going to butt tell you something.
Well, I think if they don't vote, they make a mistake. That's a vote for the other side. And if they come in and vote and they don't vote for the man at the top, again, that's a vote for the other side. So I think, especially with these elections in these last, 3 or 4 election cycles, it is very important that people get out and vote.
Right.
And I don't care who it is that gets out and vote. They just need to get out and vote. We need to know, what's best for our state, who now controls it, that kind of thing. So,
Well, I'm conservative all the way. I mean, you can't help people that won't help themselves, and that's kind of where we've been pushing the Democrat Party, is handing money out right and left to people, and it's killing the families, and it's killing their work, people that actually will work, and it's just and it's killing the people that's working, because I mean, we figured it up. I'm thinking you're paying over 50% of your income on taxes. I just think that's crazy.
yeah. And, I think it's, for me, it was basic knowledge. If you dump a bunch of money into the system, you're going to cause prices to go up. And that's exactly what's happened.
So, do you think there's a possibility that Georgia
Hey,
could
Stan,
succeed?
I got
America?
a question, Stephen, for Stan.
Okay, we're waiting on you.
Okay, Stan, how do you feel about voters who are registered in another state being encouraged to vote in Georgia?
It's a crime.
Yeah, Pat, it's a
Yeah,
crime.
Pat, it's a crime. Don't do that.
Do you hear that, Packy? It's a crime.
So, just saying, Pat Malone always drives into Georgia during the voting period for some mysterious reasons. I'm just saying.
You might want to look into this, Stan. It's-
Well,
But he goes home after he's done with his business, right?
yeah. Well,
Yep, back to South Carolina.
that was the prosecutor in me answering that question. So the politician says, yeah,
And
okay.
I appreciated the answer, Stan.
Oh, well. All right, Stan, we've held you up. We've held you up long enough. Somebody wants to get up with you and support you and all that good stuff. You got the election coming up, so what do they need to know?
Well, just My phone number is 706-897-5609. And I've had it out there for years, since I first started running. This is the phone it rings to.
Right.
It's an old phone.
Right.
And I may be needing to change that out, especially when I did my research this morning, couldn't find that
Right.
bill. Just reach out to me if you got a problem with state government, and I can help.
Stan,
I'll do my best.
I really appreciate what you do. I'm somewhat involved with some of the pro-life the organizations around here. So, we do follow what goes on, and we do watch what you do. And I can say that you do a great job, and I do support you 100%. And I thank for anything. Abortion's the number one thing in my book. So I do appreciate what you do.
I wasn't down there when that bill went through the first time, but the representatives that I've talked to said that it was a very difficult and heart-wrenching thing for a lot of the folks that were down there. I don't want to see that come back through the system, but if we have to do it, then we need to take that up and do it.
Well, thanks for what you do.
Sure.
I'm gonna tell you, Stan, that's probably a pretty good endorsement coming from him because he's Catholic. He got a huge family, so
A lot of votes there, man. There's a lot of votes.
need to work on that marijuana thing, though. I'm telling you.
We will. We will.
Packy's all about the dope, man. All right, man. We appreciate you hanging around. We want to thank.
It's a live broadcast.
Oh, okay, I'm back with you. Did you watch that where Kamala Harris was live on the internet and talked to her earbud, or what is it called?
I saw that.
Her earring. She talked to her earring. Why would she talk to her earring? I want to know that.
The question is, did they answer her back?
I'm sure they did. It's you can see it, man. Honestly, this is so funny. And you tell me she didn't have them earrings in during the debate? You honestly gonna tell me that?
I never said that.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Whatever you want to believe.
What do you believe?
Hey, I got a question, Packy, on that hemp legislation.
You still going on about that?
Oh, here we go.
Huh?
No, it was effective July 1st. Have we seen a rash of stores going out of business
Pat,
between July 1st and
before you, as usual, do a little bit more research. You'll see that the product bans went into effect on October 1st. There was some other legislation, I believe, with some of the age requirements and some of the labeling and stuff, but the product bans went into effect October 1st. If you don't believe me, call Blairsville CBD, call Natural Health Supplements, call the people around here who sell CBD and ask them, and then if you do a little bit of research on it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, the phone lines are open. If y'all listen, give us a call because, if we don't
type in October 1st, Georgia, hemp bill or House bill. Just type in October 1st and you'll see what I'm talking about.
So what's your take on this, Pat?
Okay.
What do you think?
What's my take on what?
This bill, do you have a...
Well, bills that get 166 yay votes and 3 no's,
Right.
and that was in the House, and in the Senate it got 52 yays and 1 nay.
Right.
I don't think there's a whole lot to be concerned about with those.
Well, except for them poor folks that's out of business now. Anyway,
Well,
I don't know
yeah,
anything
but
about
those
it. I really
poor
don't.
Those poor old folks have lobbyists
Right.
that watch for things like this that will hurt their business.
Yeah.
And people have lobbyists who watch for things that may hurt their business, Pat. Maybe that's why people signed it.
Could you see the lobbyists for the marijuana business? Dude, what's happening? Yeah.
Lobby. It's a cool word, man.
That's such a cool word. What we doing here? Anybody want to roll one up?
Like, I'm fine with a lot of the the 21, like, whatever. Like, if it's, if you want to be 21, but I still go back to alcohol. I still go, and it all goes back to, like you said, Pat, it's lobbying. Alcohol has ruined so many lives, way more lives than a little bit of CBD.
He's right about
I mean,
that.
come on,
Like a
Pat.
gun. Alcohol never hurt anybody.
Neither did CBD. So what's your point? That's what I'm saying. Like it's, and I still go back to black market, and it's sending people if they got to go across state lines. If they're going to do it, just as well as I do, Pat. People are going to do it anyway. You've
What
even
do you
said
mean
that.
alcohol never hurt anyone?
I see what he's saying. Like,
Did the alcohol bottle ever jump up and pour itself down your
did
throat?
the CBD bag jump up and make you smoke it?
People make choices.
Right. That's my point. So are you agreeing with me or are you arguing with me? I mean, should people be allowed to make their own decisions, especially something like this? If they're going to go back to the black market and buy it, they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to go across state lines, and now they're going to buy it from some dude again. And like
we know
pudding.
who that guy is. Watch him say pudding.
Pudding. But no, really, I mean, you look at like how bad the fentanyl crisis is right now. I mean, like a lot of this stuff is getting added and sprayed, and like it's not like why should this be the focus of like why does it matter? Why don't you let
I
people
don't
do
know
what they
why
want to do?
this came up.
I
I don't know why. What was the impetus to this legislation? There was something going on that created the legislation.
Yeah.
And the legislation looks like for the vast majority of Georgia, it was acceptable.
Well, I don't know.
But it goes back to people. I mean, I'm sorry, but it does. It goes back to people. Get in line, vote the way we tell you to vote. A lot of it is like that. Support my bill. I'll support your bill. Get in line.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
if you don't like the way people vote them out.
You don't have to like everything that somebody votes for.
Right.
I mean, that's what I was telling.
Okay,
That's what I was
then-
talking to Stan. I mean, I do. I support Stan Gunner 100%. I mean, I think his what he has said and been outspoken on being pro-life. I support him 100% on that. That's the most important thing to me. You don't have to agree with every
Yeah.
tiny little thing. That's not my point. I'm just
That's why.
But there's also nothing wrong with just asking a simple question like, "Hey, I don't really agree with this bill. I think that there's more to this. I think this should be relooked at." That's like, I know that's crazy to think, but I mean, you can just kind of think for yourself a little bit.
But that's the time to do that is when the bill's being considered.
Hey, we didn't know anything about it, I don't think, did we? Till it was done voted in.
No, I mean, people have been following this for a long time.
I ain't. I got mail. I hadn't. I ain't followed it. But now this thing with the adoption thing, I'd like to see something done on that. I think that would be a big game changer when it comes to abortions, because it is hard to adopt. It's costly, it's expensive, and there's a lot of red tape that it don't need to be there. So I don't know. I do know, but that's my take on that. So. Anything
I agree.
else we want to argue
I think
about?
being pro-life, I think it is. I think you're right. I think there's a whole. You can put restrictions on things, but you also have to be pro-family, and you have to be pro-adoption, and you have to do things that encourage people to have kids and people to
Well, that's the
raise
thing.
them and
if
a
you got
nuclear
an,
family.
It's like, okay, we can kill this kid, or you can actually have this kid raised by somebody who wants children that'll raise this child, and it won't be dead. Yeah, I mean, look like that would be the alternative that I would go for if I didn't want a kid. You know what I'm saying?
I heard an interview on, I think, Charlie Kirk or one of those, and the girl was talking about just a horrible situation. Spare you the details, but there was a horrible situation, and she came to the realization, and I like the way that she put this. She said that I realized that more death wouldn't heal me,
Right.
and that kind of resonated with me. I like the way there's more death isn't going to heal me.
No, and and that's the thing about it. A lot of these women that do this, after it's done, they really have a lot of depression and a lot of struggles with that, because it's a child, and but they don't talk about that. You don't ever hear of that. But I don't know. Anybody got any news out of Florida? We had the big hurricane come through in Florida. Seems like we're gonna have to get some more conspiracy. We're running out of conspiracy theories. Packy, everything's coming true, so we got to have some more conspiracy theories. I mean, everything. But anyway, we talked about that yesterday, about the lasers into the clouds and all that kind of stuff. And boy,
I got a lot of text messages about that yesterday.
That's true. And now they're doing something.
Well, you know why it veered to the south of Tampa?
Why is that?
Cat turd.
Because there were more Republicans down there.
Yeah,
than
you're
there were
right.
in the Tampa area.
Well, if you watch the hurricane, and they had a scientist on that said, if you think we can control a hurricane, y'all are crazy. Now, this is coming from a scientist, and we all know them scientists are 100% right on everything they say, right? Oh, everybody's agreeing with me now, ain't they?
Yeah.
Now they're messing with the sun. They got a severe solar storm could stress power grids in the U.S. after the major hurricane.
Because they're shooting lasers at the sun.
They probably are. Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, I'm telling you. See,
maybe they're flying over it with those chemtrails. That's probably what they're doing.
Now you laugh. Go ahead and laugh.
I'm not laughing.
Oh yeah, make fun, Pack. How many
I'm
times have you
just-
done this, and then
all
you
I'm-
have
all
mud
I'm
on your
doing
face?
is
I mean, you
being
did it.
absurd.
You did it this morning, Pat. You did it this morning, and you got
Just
schooled.
a few minutes ago.
You got schooled this morning,
Yeah.
and now you're
Yeah,
doing it again.
Right. I got schooled. Yeah.
Well, you did. I think you owe him an apology.
I
for
think so too. You
calling
know,
him
Pat,
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
there's this thing called Google, and if you just search, it's amazing. All this stuff just comes up, man. You can just do a little research.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go ahead and apologize to him, Pat?
I'm waiting.
No.
I'm
There's
waiting,
no
Pat.
apology needed here.
He apologized to me. Remember,
You
we
did.
got.
You did apologize.
I know what I know.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Hey, we got all these polls coming out on the election. We need to get to a break. We're going to give some stuff away. But I have a poll right here that I think is the one we need to follow because actually they have got betting on the election right now. And according to the polls of the people that's actually putting money on the election, they got Trump at 51 and Kamala at 48. So I think that would be more of a trustworthy poll coming out of the betting precinct.
And the margin of error in that poll is what, 4%?
I bet it ain't that much, man. I'm telling you, these guys that do all this betting in the betting market, man, I think it's
A little different when money's on the line.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a little more accurate. So they got Kamala at 48% and then Trump at 51. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And if y'all remember last time during the election when Biden was there, they actually in the voting precinct, which I thought was crazy, they had Biden up and Biden went in there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We need to give something away, man. What we got?
What do we have? Oh, today's Logan Turnpike Mill. We
I
got to
love
give
it.
away some of them.
I love Logan Turnpike.
So if you
Mill.
go, let's tell a little bit about them. If you stop by, they're right next to the hole in the wall. They're actually adjoined in the same building. You're looking at the hole in the wall. They're right there to the left. Logan Turnpike Mill has some of the best. They do it all their stone ground products, and it's they grow all the stuff. They have all their done right there. And they used to be out there near where Granddaddy Mims used to
Right.
be, but they moved into town. So you can get 3-grain pancake mixes, grits, corn meals, all kinds of stuff, local honey and more. Logan Turnpike Mill. We're giving away $15 to the store right now.
Question of the day, Pat, the number is 706-379-9770. Again, 706-379-9770. What's the question?
What's the question, Pat? I think we lost him.
All I see is the square. How come we just see the square? Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, put this over on the other side where we can see this us. There you go. What's the question?
The question is, since we're talking about how bad alcohol is and how many problems it causes, what alcohol is made from juniper berries?
What alcohol is made from juniper berries?
Oh, I don't know that.
I don't either. What is a juniper berry? Where do you get juniper berries? Where do they come from?
They come from juniper trees.
Oh, is that in Juniper, South Carolina?
Hey, so we're gonna have to give this away on our Pat. We had a little bit of a internet conundrum.
Oh, what's wrong now?
So Pat's not on there now. He's just on the phone. So we're gonna have to give this away on our YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com, search for The Morning Dish, click on that live video. The first person to enter in that answer in our chat right there
Yeah.
will win. What
There you
alcohol
go.
is made from juniper berries?
And subscribe. We're like at 800 subscribers. We've been that way for the last 3 years.
That's not true, man. We were at 803 last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now we're at 799.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. We went to break. Packy said, "Hey, man, I know how you feel now when they make fun of you on the radio."
See, that's what I thought, Pat. I was driving in this morning. They were like, "Oh, we have a conundrum. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Packy, or blah blah blah." And I'm like, you know what? This is how Stephen feels every morning. I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, but I got an apology. You didn't get an apology.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
I was wrong.
I'm waiting, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm still right.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Oh.
It's good legislation. I know what I know.
What? Yeah, the legislation you said that didn't exist.
Yeah, pretty
that was
much.
pretty good.
Yeah, rock
Hey,
on, baby.
hey, I was using the state representative as my proof source, right?
I reckon Walt says we need to get rid of the Electoral College. What do you think about that? Said it needs to go. The Electoral College needs to go. What do you think that'll do for us, Pat?
That's the dumbest idea I ever heard.
Well, coming from Walt, I don't, what do you expect?
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, when he said he was a knucklehead, I agree.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, though, he'll be saying, no, I didn't say that. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Who got it first there, Lee? Sorry to interrupt, guys. We did have some.
Oh, do we?
I think we did.
It looks like Kaler's Dirt Track
Oh, Kaler. Yeah, Kaler Card. What'd he say?
Gin.
And gin is correct.
Gin.
Gin is made from juniper berries.
All right, Kaler, you have won. We have got you some Logan Turnpike Mill waiting on you, $15 gift certificate over there. And, man, you're going to be eating hound hog. They got all kinds of stuff, too. They got honey. They got grits. They have got, what is it you like that?
I like the 3-grain pancake mix.
They got pancake mix, not just 3 grain. They got all kinds of pancake mix. It's a cool place to hang out. Not to mention, we got Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm going to be the first one to say that.
Whoa, where'd that come from?
But that's
What the heck?
I'm with you there, Pat.
but
Hey,
that's
could we come back to the Electoral College, please?
yeah. I'm with
I
you.
mean, that's the basic foundation. That's one of the cornerstones of the Constitution.
Right.
It's designed so the East and the West Coast, where the heavy population is concentrated, so that they don't dominate the country.
Well, now here's one thing that busts my nerves is you got just like Georgia, everything goes red except for the center where Atlanta's at, and then we lose.
And that was the point that Stan was making. He wished they had an electoral college in Georgia.
Right.
For that very reason.
Right.
That's what happens when you talk about get rid of the electoral college.
Well, that's what they're wanting to do, and that's the thing about it. We talked about that. How do you feel about what I brought up about as far as the illegal aliens coming in and then doing the census and changing the whole outlook of the state?
Well, I agree with you,
Right.
but I got one more problem here. There are a lot of people who are here legally who don't involve themselves in the census, don't contribute to this census, and don't get counted.
Okay, so that helps out because we got the illegals now, so they get counted. So that ought to make up for that. Is that what you're saying? That sounds like
No, illegals are not getting counted.
I bet you $100 to a donut they are.
Well, okay. If you're going to go with one got counted, you probably win that bet. But most illegals, they don't want anybody to know anything about them.
Right.
They're trying to stay below the visibility line.
Yeah, that's why they're raping and robbing and shooting and killing everybody because they want to stay under the line. I'm with you. I understand that. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So what percentage of the criminals in the penitentiaries are illegals as opposed to which are citizens?
Well, that's the thing they were talking about.
No. Come on. You said they're out there doing all this
Right.
crime.
Okay, so how many's what now?
The statistics don't hold that up. I mean, yeah, there is a percentage of the criminal population that is illegal, but the vast majority of the criminal population are citizens.
Well, but if you consider the fact that every single one of illegals are illegal and they have committed a crime, that kind of goes against that statistic, doesn't it, Pat?
Crime.
Yeah, you're right about
Okay.
it's a crime and they're criminals, but they're not rapists and murderers and the capital crimes that Stephen's talking about.
Well, no, they just come out with a statistic. They've got them all marked down. I mean, how many thousands? But yeah,
According to the Department of Justice, 26% of federal prisoners are aliens.
26%.
Okay.
And we're having to keep them, and that
So
costs us about $30,000 a year.
That means 74% are citizens, which supports what I just said.
We're paying like $30,000 a year to keep them in there. $30,000 a year to keep. I mean, come on, man, this is stupid. And this, like, the school systems are over flooded with a lot of these illegal immigrants where they're having to keep them up and they're not paying taxes. And I mean, I'm trying to look see where that's at. I actually had it pulled up where they're talking about how the illegal immigrants are.
Well, if immigration is the issue, then it won't make any difference who gets elected as president because both of them have promised to do exactly the same thing with immigration.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to have to hand it to Ron DeSantis down there because when he had everybody go into the shelters, he wouldn't let pedophiles or sex offenders in.
I saw that.
You ain't coming in
You
here.
can stay in the jail.
Y'all can go out there and stay on the boat. I'm with him on that. Fend for yourself.
How did he identify them?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But don't they have like
well, no, you probably use what you did. Like, are you a Democrat or Republican?
There
Are
you
you a
go.
pedophile or are you heterosexual?
That's the thing, though. Is there not a register that you can actually go look and see who is actually in your area? Is there not a list?
Yeah, for the ones that have been caught and have been put on the registry, there is, sure.
Well, them for sure didn't get to stay in there.
I imagine he excluded the Disney executives, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even understand your argument on that. Are you for them getting in the shelter?
It's like, wait a minute.
What was the question?
Do you support pedophiles and sex offenders?
Thank you. That's like saying, do you beat your wife? No, I quit that a month ago.
All right, folks. We're who you got on tomorrow?
We got State Senator Kevin Corbin from North Carolina on tomorrow.
I hope we got maybe Tamla will be back over tomorrow, and hopefully we got Tommy Townsend. I think he's been out a lot of gang around, but I think he's back in town, so maybe have him on tomorrow. And we'll give away some more good stuff. So anyway, all right.